Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you're listening. Hi, I'm Jason. I'm your host for Superhero Deep Dive. I got a great episode. It's actually a pretty big episode this week, but let me give my normal disclaimers first. As always, this information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. Also, if you guys ever want to reach out to me, I love hearing from you guys, whether it's email, Twitter, not Twitch, but Twitter or Instagram, or leaving comments on my YouTube videos. It's great. I am all for it. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter under Super Deep Dive and use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. I do post memes throughout the week on that. I've started picking back up. I stopped for a while because of the whole Ukraine situation, but I don't know the current status of that. It seems like it's dying down, or at least the media coverage makes it seem like it's dying down. So I'm going to start resuming posting some memes and hopefully bringing a smile to people's lives in this weird time. Also, you can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. And you can comment, like, subscribe, share to any of my videos on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. I post new videos up every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And if it's a Tuesday or Thursday, you can catch me throughout the day on Outworld Fleet Radio, and their web address is www.un-con-ventional.com/radio. Okay, this week I am covering Dazzler, because if you didn't know, now you know, Dazzler is pretty dope. Alright, her real name is Alison Blair, and she was born in Gardendale, New York to Carter and Catherine Blair. Her mutant powers first manifested when she is in junior high school, and she's an aspiring singer. She volunteers to perform at her school dance when her light generating abilities first appear. Everyone at the dance assumes it's a special effect, an assumption commonly made before she reveals herself to be a mutant later in life. Using the stage name Dazzler, Alison sets out to make a name for herself in the music industry, using her light powers and dancing ability to enhance her performances. It is at one of her shows that Alison first meets the X-Men while they are attacked by the forces of the Hellfire Club. If you don't know, the Hellfire Club is like uppity society of superpowered individuals, mostly mutants. I think they are actually all mutants, but they're like high society type. They believe in wearing colonial garb for the men and lingerie for the women. Pure masculine fantasy type stuff. But they're bad. Okay. Angry at the interruption of her show, Alison lashes out in anger at the Hellfire intruders, unintentionally making one member catatonic. Alison subsequently aids the X-Men in finding Kitty Pryde. She has always assumed that life as a disco queen would be exciting, but finds the fight with the X-Men's enemies going a bit too far. Thus, she turns down their offer to join the team. Dazzler hides her status as a mutant from all but those closest to her. After acquainting herself with the various Marvel Comics superheroes, Alison finds herself continually using her abilities to fight both ordinary criminals and rogue superhumans, often at the expense of her career ambitions. On one occasion, she meets Spider-Man, teaming up against the Light Master. Because, she's Dazzler, why not go up against Light Master, right? It just makes sense. It's schematics. Alright, she later battles the Enchantress, is overwhelmed by Doctor Doom, the Absorbing Man, and then fights off Nightmare. She briefly allies with the Blue Shield and aids the X-Men and Spider-Woman against the misguided Caliban. On another occasion, she battles and defeats the Hulk. She defeated the Hulk. Let me just stop right there. I should just stop the whole podcast right there. She defeated the Hulk. But she established a long-standing feud with the then mentally unstable Rogue. She also has a romantic affair with Warren Worthington III, which is Angel. And in the course of her inadvertent adventures, she even encounters the planet-devouring Galactus, who initially thinks she is of little notice and generally ignores her. Nevertheless, Galactus temporarily endows her with cosmic energy so she can retrieve the Herald Terex. In addition to be offered membership into the X-Men, Alison is also asked to audition for a place in the Avengers. She declines while facing Fabian Stankiewicz. That's a terrible last name, Stankiewicz. And I'm not even talking about the Owitz part. I'm talking about just the stank. I'm gonna put some stank on it. Saying that the superhero trip wasn't for her. And so, yeah. Dazzler then moves to Los Angeles in a vain attempt to help her half-sister Lois London, who has the mutant power to kill anyone with a touch, but has little to no control over the ability. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine just like walking in Los Angeles and you bump into someone, you kill them? I mean, just anything. That stings. What a terrible power. While in Los Angeles, Alison attempts careers in fitness training, dancing, modeling, and acting. Influenced both by her boyfriend and her desire to abate the growing anti-mutant sentiment, Alison publicly declares her mutant identity. The revelation backfires, however, destroying her reputation and career and inflaming the anti-mutant sentiment, which sends Alison into a depressive state. Forced to get into hiding, she spends some time as a keyboard player and backup vocalist in rock singer and fellow mutant Leela Cheney's band. While on tour, the band's plane crashes, which leads to Dazzler, Leela, and a bandmate being successfully rescued by Cannonball and Joshua. I don't know who Joshua is, so don't ask me, because they didn't really give a name on who he is. They just, some dude named Joshua. I have a cousin named Joshua. I'm pretty sure it wasn't him though, but my cousin Joshua is awesome. So, cousin Joshua, if you are listening, you're awesome. Leela has also been knocked out, so Dazzler uses the music Joshua plays at the scene. My cousin, I don't think, plays music. To blast a hole through the wreckage. Alison is later possessed by the psychic mutant Malice, after an encounter with the X-Men coming to warn her about the Marauders. Dazzler is freed from possession and becomes a member of the team. Wow, there's a lot to that. Like, she just is not the luckiest of mutants. Okay, let's see here. During her tenure with the X-Men, and the bad thing is, this is like a long episode, so I'm sorry, but there's so many things that are like, that have little bits that are relevant to her, because she does just constantly have stuff happening. Alright, during her tenure with the X-Men, Dazzler receives training, attains greater control over her powers, and develops a romance with the extra-dimensional Longshot. Now, if you don't know, Longshot is this dude in a leather jacket, or leather jumpsuit, and a mullet. She drops Angel, who is rich, has wings, is the living embodiment of an angel, for a leather-clad mullet dude. Just keep that in mind, because I'm pretty sure she's going to make other bad decisions in her life. She's also forced to work alongside the now reformed Rogue, and this causes considerable tension between them at first due to Alison's difficulty in getting over Rogue's attempt to kill her in the past, as well as Rogue's own strong feelings for Longshot. But it's maybe the mullet has some magic, I don't know. Over time, Alison eventually believes Rogue is genuinely remorseful and forgives her teammate. Dazzler struggles with her career ambitions and personal insecurities, and eventually she and her teammates in the X-Men enter the mystical Siege Perilous. Discovered in an amnesiac state, washed up on a beach by her former bodyguard Guido, Guido. She is nursed back to health by Guido and Leela, though their efforts prove unsuccessful in helping restore her memory. Her memory is eventually restored when she is found by Longshot. Now, let me tell you guys real quick, because I'm sure I'll do an episode on Longshot at some point. He's kind of got luck powers. Like Domino has a way of things just kind of working out in her favor. Same thing with Longshot. Good things just happen around him. Like Rogue and Dazzler wanting a piece of that mullet action. Because we know without powers, that mullet ain't going nowhere except the mop bucket. Alright. Let's see here. Though their efforts prove unsuccessful, she's restored and found by Longshot. Devastated by the loss of her career, Alison ventures to Longshot's native Mojo world and remains there to help fight in the ongoing rebellion against the tyrant Mojo along with Leela. Yeah. Dazzler eventually returns to Earth without Longshot after an unfortunate series of events, including an apparent miscarriage and war. I like how they did that. Like, the miscarriage comes first. She had unfortunate events, like a miscarriage and war. Alright. She helps Jean Grey in the fight against a repowered Magneto, backed by an army of Genosians. She and Jean lead a small band of mutants to back up the original X-Men that are in Genosha already. Dazzler faces down Magneto, who turns her powers against her and apparently incinerates her. Her powers are light. How is he going to turn that? Whatever. As Magneto arrogantly boasts about his triumph, Dazzler reveals herself to be alive and well. Because it's comic books, people. She and Jean had concocted a plan for Alison to create a hard light hologram of herself to distract Magneto, who was then gravely wounded by Wolverine. After the conclusion of this incident, the X-Men offer Alison support for her personal problems, but she declines. Yet another bad decision. Let me go through and make bad decision after bad decision, and then have people offer to help me, and then make another bad decision and say no thanks. Whatever. I might skip a couple pages on this. She's got fans. Her fans that are in the Marvel Universe are Juggernaut, Colossus, the Hulk, Northstar, the Rhino, Molly Hayes, Kitty Pryde, Moon Knight, Captain Marvel, and Pixie. So, whatever. Okay. Dazzler later reestablishes her musical career, marketing her original signature disco image as part of the techno trance genre. Actually, that's not a terrible move. That makes a lot of sense, so I can't make any comments about that. Alison moves her career abroad to England, because that's where techno thrives. I mean, you know, I'm a techno fan. I'm a fan of techno. That's where it thrives, so good decision for once. And joins with X-Men allies such as the Juggernaut and Captain Britain. She is reunited with Longshot and the X-Men, Die by the Sword miniseries, although Longshot is suffering from amnesia and does not remember her. Oh, not so lucky. Let's see here. He regains his feelings during the series, so there's that. Of course he does. Alright. Let me see here. Okay. Alison Blair rejoins the X-Men in San Francisco after leaving Longshot due to the fact that their relationship was just not the same after Longshot's loss of memory. Pixie is seen leaving a club with a friend where Alison has recently performed. Dazzler has established a career as a musician, finally landing a big break and completely revitalizing her music career. Dazzler has also been shown to take part in the X-Men Secret Invasion miniseries. So returning home with Northstar and Pixie after taking her out to get drunk, despite her being underage. I think Pixie is getting drunk there. Dazzler and the team are unprepared for a brutal attack on the mansion by the Sisterhood. In retaliation, Dazzler later accompanies Emma Frost, Storm, and Karma for the revenge attack on the Sisterhood. Let's see here. In San Francisco, where she engages a mind-controlled Psylocke in her own body. In battle, while Psylocke regains the upper hand, Dazzler points out that Storm blew out all the windows when they entered. So this was so she could absorb all the sound from the energy, or from the city outside, which she turned into a beam of light that burns the right side of Psylocke's face off. What? Okay. After the Sisterhood retreats, Dazzler is happily reunited with Psylocke, regaining control of her Japanese body. So that was confusing. Alright, let me see here. Dun 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 dun. Let's see here. Dazzler along with Gambit, Annul, Northstar, Cannonball, Pixie, and Trance travel to Limbo to rescue Magic. Things go wrong when the ground starts to tremble and an army of monstrous demons attack the team. Dazzler calls upon Gambit for help during the attack, but Gambit sinks into the darkness, claiming Remy's not home right now, leading the X-Men to be overwhelmed by the demons. Dazzler ends up alone and is rescued by Northstar just as she is about to lose her fight against the demons. Northstar and Dazzler encounter Gambit shortly after. Unfortunately, Gambit has reverted to the Death persona, seemingly attacking Northstar, who easily evades Gambit's cards. Northstar avoids the attack, realizing the cards were meant for Dazzler, and she is transformed into a state much like Gambit's Death persona. Northstar is infected soon after. Dazzler, infected by Gambit, now completely consumed by the concept of survival of the fittest, joins to infect the other X-Men in Limbo as well. Dazzler and Northstar are soon freed thanks to Magic's Soul Sword. Okay. Let's see here. During the schism event between Cyclops and Wolverine, Dazzler chooses to remain in San Francisco with Cyclops' side. She is asked to lead a street team of X-Men, which she agrees to. Although never seen, she is paired with Boom Boom and Lifeguard. Boom Boom is a character I want to cover at some point because she's cool. I currently live in Roanoke, Virginia, and that is actually where the character is from, so I got to do like a little hometown thing. I was going to do it for the live action show or live show we were going to do at a convention in Roanoke, Virginia, but the convention got canceled due to pandemic concerns. It's true. It's true. All right. Let's see here. I'm looking through some of these to see if I can skip anything because it's crazy. All right. Here we go. In an attempt to better understand the mutant community and Cyclops' talk of mutant revolution, Maria Hill personally asked Dazzler to become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., a proposition Alison accepts. After her first encounter with Cyclops' X-Men team, Dazzler is poisoned and replaced by the shapeshifter Mystique. Dazzler is rescued by Magneto, and she was told how she was kidnapped and put in a coma-like state so that Mystique could use her to generate mutant growth hormone. Afterwards, she joins Cyclops' Uncanny X-Men team with a new, darker goth appearance. So yeah, let's see here. She fights a Megalodon in a Secret Wars storyline, and she was part of a team called A-Force. So there's that. Let me see here. Okay, after the Secret Wars storyline, while participating in a roller derby in Miami. Yes, that's correct. Because she's a disco queen, so she knows how to skate. Why not do roller derby? It just fits. Dazzler is approached by Singularity, She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, Nico Minoru, and Medusa to help them defeat Antimatter. Since they required a powerful light source to defeat their foe, they chose her. When Antimatter appeared, it became apparent that even with the Dazzler's help, they couldn't defeat him. So Singularity teleported everyone to Alpha Flight Low Orbit Space Station, where Dr. Tempest Bell theorized that killing Antimatter would also kill Singularity due to their connection via the quantum entanglement. So that sucks. Let's see here. A-Force attempted to negotiate with Antimatter, but he explained he sought to understand humanity by disassembling their molecules and finding a use for them. Because why not, right? This led to a fight in which Dazzler was critically injured and died on the operating table. Dazzler later woke up following the failed operation to realize it seemed like she was unable to die. Maybe it's a sound versus light thing. I don't know. I don't know. That just seems weird. Moving on, because that's weird. All right. Let's see here. During the Civil War II storyline, Dazzler went with Captain Marvel to fight Thanos, who the Inhuman Ulysses had predicted would appear. Although Thanos was defeated, She-Hulk was seriously injured. Shortly afterwards, Ulysses predicted that Nico would murder an innocent woman named Alice. Captain Marvel wanted to arrest Nico before this could happen. Dazzler disagreed with Captain Marvel, saying that although she agreed with Tony Stark's view that they shouldn't be arresting people for crimes that they might commit, she only stood by Carol because she was her friend. When Nico arrives, Captain Marvel tries to explain about the vision before Dazzler warns Nico that she's gonna get arrested. Nico escapes and Captain Marvel blames Dazzler, who tells her that they could really predict their future. They should have known it would happen. Dazzler and Singularity oppose Captain Marvel and Medusa's decision to hunt down and capture Nico. Dazzler and Singularity follow Marvel and Medusa to Arizona, Colorado. What? Okay. I don't know. This is not making too much sense. But Nico's hiding. Let's see. They find Nico. They split into two teams. One to find Alice and the other to protect the civilians. Dazzler, Singularity, and Medusa protect civilians despite their disagreement while searching for Alice in an abandoned mine. Carol Danvers, who's Captain Marvel, Nico, and Bloodstone are attacked by a giant bug. The bug incapacitates Danvers and Bloodstone before telepathically communicating to Minoru that she is Alice and has been inadvertently infecting the townspeople after her transformation. Alice tells Minoru that killing her is the only way to save the people. When Minoru refuses, an infected Bloodstone threatens to kill Danvers. Medusa, Singularity, and an infected Dazzler are overrun by bugs and regroup. So, yeah. Minoru ends up casting a spell to transform Alex back to a human. And let's see here. Alice explains that she still must be killed, and Minoru reluctantly casts a death spell on Alice, which transforms the infected people back into humans. Allison reemerges in her final form, because they go to Dragon Ball Z levels here, and tells A-Force that she is no longer a threat and she now has greater control of her powers. So, they keep putting her in these, really weird storylines that don't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Let's see here. I'm almost done with the history stuff. During the Inhumans vs. X-Men storyline, Dazzler assisted Emma Frost in the beginning of her plot to defeat the Inhumans. She disguised herself as an Inhuman performer shortly before ambushing Black Bolt in his own quiet room. Dazzler is also seen as one of the many mutants who have taken up residence on the newly established island nation of Krakoa. So yeah, she's got a lot of history. But this character has been around since the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. So, take it for what you will. Let's see here. Let's get into powers. That seems like a good idea. Alright, powers. Dazzler is a mutant with the ability to transduce sonic vibrations, which reach her body into various types of light. This ability seems to operate over a great range of frequencies, including the audible spectrum, and a great variation of sound pressure levels regardless of the complexity, dissonance, and randomness of the sound. Sounds as different as a car crash and a symphonic passage both produce convertible incoming acoustic vibrations. So she turns sound into light. That's a pretty cool vibe right there. Dazzler prefers utilizing the sound of music, particularly that which is rhythmically sustained. Not only is music more pleasant to her ears, but the steady beat of contemporary music provides a more constant source of sound to convert. That makes sense. The precise means by which this conversion process works is yet unknown, but Dazzler has been shown to create a null space of sound, so a blank space basically, in a certain radius of her person as a result of pulling the sound in her area to her, to either protect the crowd of people or to supercharge her power reserves. Left undirected, Dazzler's light will radiate from her body in all directions, producing regular flashes of white light. By conscious control over the light she produces, she can control its direction, color, intensity, and duration. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, that's not a bad power, visually speaking. It kind of makes me wonder how, well, even though it becomes light, if she controls that light, if she can create like a null space of sound around her, wouldn't that be good for like spy ops? Because then she doesn't have to worry about, making noise and people noticing, because she creates that null space. So, she could knock something over and it won't make any sound because she'd absorb it. And she could probably store it for a power blast or something. I mean, who knows? Now, Dazzler's mutant ability can produce numerous other effects. She can create simple patterns out of rays of light or combinations of patterns which produce trance-like effects in their targets. She can create a pulse of light on the order of several thousand watts of power, which temporarily blinds people with its brilliance. She can also create a chaotic cascades of sparkling lights and colors that severely upsets other people's equilibrium, or a pulsing strobe light effect. That's pretty cool. She can also radiate light in gentle, soothing patterns to calm a person's mood, and she can generate a coherent beam of light approximating a laser beam. So she can make lasers. Awesome. Dazzler can generate a shield from laser energy that can deflect projectiles or energy beams. So you know what she needs? I know the technology isn't really, I don't want to say dead. It's not dead, but it's just not popular anymore because of phones. But she needs like an iPod, because those batteries lasted forever. And yeah, just get like hours and hours of music, or even like background noise, like white noise or something. She needs tinnitus is basically what it is. Okay, Dazzler has polarizing eyes and cannot be blinded or dazzled by light. Having polarizing eyes would be great for going out fishing, which I really wish I could be doing. Because then you can see better in the water and you can see the fish. I'm just saying. I'm going to sip my drink. That's tasty coffee. Okay. With effort, she can create holograms of human beings and other three-dimensional beings and objects. With similar effort, she can also turn herself temporarily invisible and inaudible. She can use light energy to generate some form of propulsion or flight, or at very least a rapid ascent. She generally directs lasers from a single finger when she requires precision, and she most often uses her hands for directing her light effects, but she could also use other parts of her body, like her chin. Since studying with the X-Men, she has become adept at directing her blinding strobe light blast from her eyes. Dang, that's kind of intense. That's pretty cool. The powerful manifestation of her laser abilities is a concentrated stream of solid photons. She usually fires from her index finger, but can emit from her entire body. The beam is extremely powerful and as a consequence uses a great deal of her energy reserves. She has also demonstrated the ability to stretch the electromagnetic spectrum to produce devastating microwave energy. She has since learned how to produce these blasts without draining herself while still providing them with considerable power. So that's good. She's kind of getting a balance with it, right? when Galactus enlisted her to retrieve his wayward Herald Terex from the heart of a black hole. He had her exposed to unimaginable sounds, including the explosion of an entire galaxy, to boost her to sufficient levels. Since the events of Dazzler the movie, which is not a real movie, it was a comic series, Dazzler's body can store sound energy for future discharge as light. Thanks to Professor X, Dazzler's costume contains devices that enable her to store sonic energy more efficiently and to gauge and focus the light she generates with greater skill. She has also demonstrated on at least one occasion the ability to expel the stored sound into a devastating wave of sonic energy that destroyed her foe's silence. Dazzler is also immune to the injurious effects of her light transducing abilities. Let's see here. It was indicated that her ears are highly developed, allowing her to detect sounds on frequencies that others cannot register. And she demonstrates the ability to use sound waves for echolocation before absorbing them for energy. Dazzler has also been shown to be immune to the powers of her half-sister Mortis, which ordinarily kills living subjects instantly. And that's pretty cool. I like how they did that. Like, if you share DNA, so like if you're a sibling, or I guess maybe even a, parent or child of that mutant, you're basically immune to their powers. We've seen it with Havoc and Cyclops. We've seen it with others. They just can't hurt each other, power-wise. But they get each other emotionally right in the feels. Alright. With considerable strain, Dazzler is capable of generating ultraviolet light in omnidirectional waves of such intensity that it will melt large metal structures and give you one heck of a sunburn. Dazzler is also a highly skilled athlete and hand-to-hand combatant. Thanks to her training with the X-Men and Gladiators, able to defeat over a dozen human combatants at once while purposely avoiding use of her mutant abilities. That's super important. In addition, she is a talented singer, actress, and dancer. Dazzler is also a highly accomplished roller skater and can move at high speed. She is skilled enough to use her roller skates as weapons to strike an opponent's solar plexus in a flying kick. Dazzler occasionally wears a pair of roller skates which magnetically adhere to her boots. Now, I have actually been kicked in the shins by someone with roller skates, and that hurts. I can't imagine taking a couple to the chest. Like, that's nuts. And they're heavy too, so can you imagine? Like, girl got thick thighs. Because you need some muscles for that. Alright, fun facts. Remember, Dazzler has been around for a long time, so I have lots of fun facts. But what do you guys think of her powers? What do you think of her history so far? It's pretty interesting, right? Let me know. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. Help me grow the channel on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. If you are listening to the podcast, you can email me directly at b4itall@yahoo.com. Or you can send me a message. I get those from time to time, or leave comments on Instagram or Twitter under Super Deep Dive, and use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. In fact, if you look for the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive on Facebook, you'll probably find the Talk Nerdy to Me network, which is my home network. That's the one that sponsors me, which is awesome. They are great. Okay. Fun facts. Dazzler appeared in the X-Men Pride of the X-Men animated pilot. She appears as part of the X-Men's main roster. She also guest starred in the X-Men animated series. She appeared as a background character in the episode Mojo Vision, where she was Longshot's makeup artist. However, Dazzler was central to the plot in the episode The Dark Phoenix Saga, Part 1, Dazzled, in which Donald Pierce tries to kidnap her in order to force her to join the Hellfire Club's inner circle. Dazzler also appears in the Wolverine and X-Men cartoon series in the episode Excalibur. She is seen aboard the ship traveling to Genosha, and in the episode's Greetings from Genosha, Dazzler is briefly seen performing a concert. In the episode Badlands, she is shown in Polaris' flashback of an alternate future to be among the mutants killed when Genosha is destroyed by the Phoenix Force. Now Hulu, this one's good. Hulu intended to air a Tigra and Dazzler animated series, and the two would have teamed up with MODOK, Hit Monkey, and Howard the Duck in the animated special The Offenders. In December 2019, the director and the writing staff was fired due to creative differences. There was one guy, Chelsea Handler, so not one guy, but one person, Chelsea Handler, was still attached to the project, and in January 2020, it was announced that Tigra and Dazzler, along with the Howard the Duck series, were canceled, making The Offenders completely unlikely. So yeah. In the early 1980s, Gary Goddard, who is a screenwriter, he was commissioned to write a script for a film based on Dazzler to star Bo Derek. The project was ultimately abandoned when temperamental director John Derek was brought on board, leading investors to back out. I wonder if John Derek and Bo Derek are connected in any way. That's weird. Alright, I'm not looking that up right now, though. Alright, let's see. Alison Blair, Dazzler, briefly appears in Dark Phoenix, portrayed by Halston Sage. She is singing and displaying her powers of her fellow mutants at a field party. Dazzler was also a playable character in the X-Men arcade game released by Konami in 1992. Best arcade game ever. Let's see, Dazzler was also a playable character in two early PC X-Men games by Paragon Software, X-Men Madness in Murder World and X-Men 2 The Fall of the Mutants. Dazzler appears as a non-playable character in the PC version of X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse. Raven Software designed an online exclusive Dazzler's Nightclub level for a mission which reenacts Uncanny X-Men number 130, where the X-Men must protect Dazzler from the Hellfire Club's guards. That's pretty awesome. Dazzler also has a cameo in Felicia's ending in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Fate of Two Worlds, where they perform in a live concert together. I have that game. I should probably play that just so I can see the ending. That would be pretty cool. Alright, Dazzler appears in Stern Pinball Deadpool. She's also a playable character in Marvel Puzzle Quest and a playable character in Marvel Future Fight. And Dazzler was ranked number 83 in Comic Buyer's Guide 100 Sexiest Women in Comics list in 2011. Okay. I don't know. So here's a good question for you guys. Dazzler was made to be this kind of like, blonde-haired disco queen, pop star basically. So they made her to be good looking. At one point, she had short hair. And then she had long hair. And then she went all goth. Which version do you prefer? I personally like the short-haired version better. It kind of separated her. And the way they drew her, she kind of had like a leaner type figure in it. And I liked that. But what do you guys think? Let me know. It's interesting, and don't be all pervy, because that's not the point of this question. That's weird, and don't out yourself like that. Keep your perv to yourself. Alright. But that's a lot of fun facts about her. So what do you guys think? I mean, it's a pretty decent character, right? Could be better, but definitely could be worse. Let me know. Like I said, you can email me at b4itall and use the number 4, not FORE. So b the number 4 itall at yahoo.com. You can reach out to me on Twitter and Instagram under superdeepdive. My DMs are always open. You can comment, whatever. And if you're watching this on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, share. If you have requests for future episodes, let me know. I've got a whole list right now. Like, I've actually got one Okay, so the next 2 episodes are going to be requests that came in. One I had to move up because it's relevant, and you'll know why later. Then I got another one that I'm doing, and then another request. But I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 more episodes already in the works. So it's going to be great, and I'm trying to mix it up because I've been very Marvel heavy. I've got another Marvel person next week, and then the week after I'm branching out a little bit, and then we'll kind of bring it back home. But anyways, power expansions. Let's get into that. That's my favorite part of the episode, where we kind of delve into like, would they make good movies, animated series. Last week I wanted we talked about Metal Men, and I wanted them to do like kind of a animated series, like kind of maybe Pixar style. My son was a co-host, and he wanted complete reboot, comics, everything, comics, animated series, movie. He wanted the whole shebang. This one, Dazzler. So I think it's pretty obvious. She needs to be played by Taylor Swift. I'm just going to get that out of the way. You know, as far as casting goes, it almost seems that Taylor Swift has modeled herself after Dazzler. And I say that, but you know, if I did this episode 20 years ago, I'd be saying the exact same thing about Britney Spears. And if I did it before then, you know, who knows, maybe Madonna or something. You know, I mean, it's just, there's so many. There's always that one blonde pop star that is it, you know, and it just so happens Taylor Swift is the one I chose. Alright, but what would be a good story for her? The problem I have with Dazzler is that she basically did her own light shows for her concerts, all the while trying to keep the fact that she's a mutant under wraps. Do you guys see the problem here? Like, what about her lighting director or her stage crew? They'd all know something was up. And you know, especially in this day and age, not everyone would be able to keep their mouth shut. Someone's going to say something, something's going to slip, something's not going to quite add up, it's going to get out. So what would be the plot? You know, could it be a standalone film? Would she need to be in a team? Could she even make it in the new Marvel Cinematic Universe? Personally, I don't know. Like, I don't think she could use her old story unless she fully embraces the powered lifestyle. But in doing that, she's gonna end up being handled by the government. Like, there's no way they let her live free. You know, and we see this. Like, she tried to out herself with to help cool down people's anti-mutant resentment, and it just backfired. Because they felt betrayed by her. You know, they felt like she was someone that they could all relate to, and they all loved her. And then turns out she was someone they hated for the sheer fact of just being born that way, you know? And it just brought out the worst. So the only thing I can really think of is that we have her as a teenager when her powers manifest, and then it goes from there. Like, maybe she was at a singing audition when it happened. Just kind of like it goes, so it goes with her comic history. But could she be viable in the MCU? Like, her powers are pretty unique, and they found some really cool uses for her, but would it work? Like, is she stuck being a could-have-been character, or will she ever make it to the show, so to speak? Like, I really love her powers, and I think there's so much potential in her, but really, I have a hard time flushing it all out and getting a story with her. Like, so is that all she is? Is she just one of those characters that's just full of potential but will never go anywhere? Is she that kind of person? Like, I'm a big professional wrestling fan, and you know, we have those wrestlers that are loved by everyone. They've got so much potential, and they're like, you know, why hasn't this person gotten a title shot? And it's because they're full of potential, but there's something missing, like, that just puts it all together to that, at that level. Like, they're great, they can help carry a match and stuff, but there's always something that's just holding them back. It's nothing really tangible. It's just something just isn't connecting. And I feel that's how it is with Dazzler. But let me know. Let me know. I have a couple people on YouTube that love giving theories, and I love reading them because we'll go back and forth with a couple things. Let me know. How can we make Dazzler work? How can we do this? Because it would be amazing. The character has so much potential. She can suck up the sound around her, turn herself invisible, and shoot lasers if she wanted. Like, you know, you can't tell me that's not like a Mission Impossible kind of movie. What if she did that? What if, okay, what about this? Like, since we brought in Mission Impossible, what if she was giving a concert, her powers manifested, the government came and took her, not in a predatory way, but they took her because, you know, it freaked people out, so they went and grabbed her and protected her. Then started training her to be like a spy, but not so much like Black Widow kind of spy, but like Mission Impossible kind of spy. That'd be cool. That could be a movie. Like, that would be an awesome movie. What do you guys think? Like, did we just hit something? Did we just hit like the sweet spot? Let me know. Like I said, you can reach out to me on Twitter and Instagram under Super Deep Dive. You can catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Help me grow the channel. I want to do a giveaway. If I can get 500 subscribers, I will do a giveaway. And I will send you something. And it'll be something good, I promise. Let's see here, what else? You can always email me directly. I get those quite frequently. It's B4 it all, so B4 it all at yahoo.com. And yeah, let's get this stuff done. If you guys have requests, let me know. I am all for doing requests and kind of capturing heroes that you guys may love. In the meantime, guys, I'm going to step out. I will see you all next week. Everyone, be blessed, be safe, be happy, be smart. And if you're not smart, don't get caught. I will see you later. Bye-bye.